Today's video is all about how do you design wooden objects for laser cutting in Fusion. I'm Mr. Pratt and I've been teaching robotics to students for over 10 years now. When you are thinking about putting two pieces of wood together, a butt joint is typically not going to work very well. So what I mean by a butt joint is this joint right here. You're taking two pieces and you're just trying to slap them together. It's not a very strong joint. Instead, a finger joint tends to work a lot better. And a finger joint is exactly what it says. It looks like your fingers interlocking together. So I've got one piece here with a bunch of different a bunch of faces on it, and one piece here with a bunch of different teeth on it. And when these fingers, and you put a little wood glue between these two joints, and then you seal them together, it ends up being a really strong joint because it's really interconnected. Now, that being said, you could also use a finger joint like this. There's no reason that you have to have individual pieces for these finger joints. You can have quite long fingers, just as long as you have multiple fingers holding your piece in place, you should have a pretty strong design. So the box we're going to be working on today is making this simple finger jointed box here. I'm going to start by making a sketch on the bottom face. And our sketch is going to be 40 millimeters by 40 millimeters. Just so that we can start with an easy square that we can laser cut, do some testing. We don't have to worry too much about this. We're going to extrude this out by 4 millimeters. And we've got our basic face here. And now we're going to start making our fingers inside of this piece. I'm going to create a new sketch on top. And for these fingers, I'm going to make these fingers 4 by 4. I'm going to finish the sketch for just this individual cube, and then I'm going to extrude it down 4 millimeters and make it a new body. This is going to be our tool body that we're going to use to cut in the rest of our piece. So now we can create a rectangular pattern of this cube, select our axes on the two axes we want. And for me, we know that our distance is going to be 36 mil, and our other extent is also going to be 36 mil. And we can go ahead and increase our quantity until we get an amount of fingers that look about appropriate for what it is that we're looking for. So I might have, 5 fingers in each direction. Now you'll notice that we do have some finger joints going in the center. I don't want to actually do that. So I'm going to turn on the suppression checkbox. What suppression does is allows us to suppress certain parts of our pattern. So I can press this little checkbox and I can not create these sections of a rectangular pattern. If I select OK, I've now got all of my cubes faced around. We're going to use these as our tool bodies. So we can go ahead and select the combine tool, select our target body. With our tool bodies, we can just simply click and drag to select everything. On our eyeprint, it's going to be cut, and we can go ahead and deselect keep tools so that we remove the tools when we're done with them. I'll select OK. Now we've got a nice looking base for our box. Let's go ahead and start making 2 of the sides. Let's make a new sketch from this face here. And I'm going to again make this a 40 by 40 rectangle. And we can finish the sketch and do an extrude of these 2 faces. And we're going to pull it out by 4 millimeters. For this one, we're going to select New Body. We'll select OK. Now, if we look at our bodies, we just simply have a bottom face and a top face, but this top face is just a direct square. Now we can use this bottom face as a cutting tool for this face here. So let's go ahead and select our combine tool, select our target body and our tool bodies. This time we're going to select keep tools because we don't want to get rid of this bottom face. Select OK. And now we've got, if I were to hide our first body, we now have our teeth cut into the second body. Let's go ahead and add in our pattern up at the top here. So I'm going to create another sketch up at the top. And I'm going to make another 4 by 4 rectangle. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to make our tool bodies again. So we'll extrude this back 4 centimeters. We'll make this a new body. And we can go ahead and rectangular pattern this. This time I'm going to select both axes. Oops, I don't want to select this object. I only want to select this one. Thank you. We'll select both axes again. And again, we can do an extent of 36 millimeters. But we're only going to do 2 across the x-axis. And over this time, we're going to come all the way down to about 32 millimeters, but not any lower. And in fact, you're probably going to notice a problem here. If we were to cut this, we'd run in. So I'm actually going to make this 28 millimeters. We'll add a few more in here just for good measure. And you notice we'll kind of have a bit of an odd shape in the corner. You are gonna have some weird shapes in the corners so that you don't run over pieces that you can't actually cut together. We'll go ahead and select OK with this. We can go up and select our combine tool, select our main face, select our tool bodies. We can just click and drag. And we're going to not keep our tools. We want to get rid of them. We'll select OK. And now we've got another face of our body here. For this next panel, we can simply grab our move tool, grab our body, select create copy, and we're simply going to drag it over 36 mil. And now we have 2 individual copies of our body. Last thing we're going to do is just make that last shape. Let's go ahead and create a sketch on this face. Again, this should be 40 by 40, but at this point I can just use these 2 faces and we'll be good to go. Finish our sketch. Go ahead and extrude this sketch out by -4. Make it a new body. And we're going to use our combine tool one more time. So we'll combine the body here, and then our tools are going to be this body, and our bottom body. This time we're going to keep our tools, select OK, and we're just about done with our box. Let's go ahead and grab another move/copy, grab this one, move it over 30, oops, we forgot to select create copy, move it over 36 mil, select OK, and now we've got a fantastic, strong finger jointed box. Last thing we can do, grab our little appearance here if we want to slide on a nice pine semi-gloss finish. Hope you found that tutorial helpful, and best of luck on your laser cut project.